Good morning, students. Today we will start the chapter 11, part 3. Today we will discuss about the cloning vectors. As you know, many times we need a vehicle for the transfer from one place to another. Similarly, in biotechnology and genetic engineering, if we want to carry the foreign DNA from one place to the host cell, then we require cloning vector. So basically, cloning vector is a DNA molecule that will transfer foreign DNA by attaching itself to the host cell, and there are different types of cloning vectors can be seen. There are different types and it depends on the type of foreign DNA that will decide which type of vector should be selected. So here we will continue the cloning vector in the PPTs. Later on I will discuss this figure. The definition of cloning vector is a vector is a DNA molecule used as a vehicle to artificially carry foreign genetic material like DNA into the another cell where it can be replicated. So dear students, vector is a vehicle. You can imagine in our Hindu marriages, Dula requires a godi for the transfer from one place to the another one. Similarly, we will use cloning vector in the biotechnology. These are the examples of the type of cloning vectors we can use. Plasmid, this is the most used vector in the biotechnology. Phasmid is the another one. Viruses, especially bacteriophage that infects the bacterial cell, can be used as a cloning vector. Cosmates and SE, artificial chromosomes like BSE and YSE. BSE means bacterial artificial chromosome and YSE yeast artificial chromosome. And you know, according to 11th class, the plasmid and bacteriophage have the ability to replicate within bacterial cell. We know bacteriophage can also replicate in the bacterial cell and plasmid can also replicate. Alien DNA, you can say the foreign DNA, or in another words, desired gene linked with the vector multiply its number equal to the copy number of plasmid or bacteriophage. The number of foreign DNA or alien DNA will depend on the copy number of the plasmid or bacteriophage. The well-known examples of plasmids are PBR 322 and PUC18. You need to remember these two important examples. A figure is given here. I have also drawn this figure on the whiteboard. I will explain later on this. Prior to this, you can see what are the features of cloning vector, especially PBR 322. You can see PBR 302. The name PBR is given by these points. P stands for plasmid made by Bolivar and Rodriguez. Bolivar and Rodriguez are the scientists who made this cloning vector PBR 322 in the laboratory, and there are three important parts of PBR 322. First of all, it contains ORI, ORI. It means origin of replication. This is the special sequence of nucleotides from where replication is started. Similarly, the second part will be selectable marker genes. These are the genes from which we can identify the recombinant cell. And cloning sites, basically we will use these selectable markers as a cloning sites, out of which in one selectable marker gene we will cut it and we will add the foreign DNA or alien DNA with the help of DNA ligase enzyme. So you can see the figure of PBR 322. This is the cloning vector which is mostly used in the biotechnology and genetic engineering. You need to draw this figure at home neatly. We will start this figure with the ORI. This is the special sequence of DNA found in the plasmid from where DNA replication is started and it is shown by ORI. ORI means origin of replication. So one more question can be asked on this point. What do you mean by ORI? Then you can see ORI is a origin of replication that shows a specific sequence of nucleotides from which replication is started. The second part you can see the ROP. This is the black spot given here. This is the ROP, repressor of primer. Its specifications are not given in the NCERT book, but you can see it is the part of plasmid that will decide the copy number. Now come to these two parts. In the left hand side you can see AMPR and in the right hand side you can see this is the TETR. What do you mean by the AMPR? These are the selectable markers. With the help of these two genes, we will identify the recombinant DNA and we will identify the recombinant host cell. These are the selectable markers out of which one selectable marker will be used for the addition of foreign DNA after this point. You can see AMPR gene, its full name is ampicillin resistant gene. These genes are naturally not found in the E. coli. This PBR 322 is based on the E. coli plasmid and naturally these genes are absent. You will have to insert these genes artificially in the laboratory. AMPR gene is present in the bacteria, then that bacteria will be resistant to ampicillin antibiotic. It will not be died with the help of this antibiotic. On the other hand, TETR, this is the another selectable marker. It provides resistance against the tetracycline. Tetracycline is the antibiotic and its presence will make bacteria resistant against the tetracycline. So these two are the selectable markers. If you want to cut the ampicillin resistant gene, then you can use two type of endonuclease enzymes, PVU first and PST first. As far as PVU first is concerned, Pseudomonas vulgare, this is the endonuclease enzyme derived from a bacteria and the name of bacteria is Pseudomonas vulgare. So PVU first is used to cut this AMPR gene or you can use the PST first, Pseudomonas stuarti. So these two are the specified endonuclease enzymes to cut the AMPR gene. On the other hand, if you want to insert the foreign DNA in the TETR gene or you can say tetracycline resistant gene, then you will have to cut its sequence by using the BAM-H first and SAL first. The full form of BAM is Bacillus amylofaciens H first and the another used endonuclease is Streptomyces alba first. So this is the name of endonuclease enzyme SAL. So these are the selectable markers present in the PBR 322. So We have discussed about the ORI, origin of replication, repressor of primer ROP that will decide the copy number. These two are the selectable marker genes. The first is AMPR gene and TETR gene. In place of this, you can use another markers also, such as kanamycin, resistant gene also. These are the endonuclease enzymes, PVU first and PST first. Similarly, for the tetracycline resistant gene, you can see BAMH first and SAL first. Similarly, the another part of the plasmid can also be cut with the help of different types of endonuclease enzymes, just like EcoR first, CLA first, HIND third. So we can explain the structure of PBR 322 in the three important parts that will be discussed in PPTs. These are the important abbreviations used in the PBR 322 cloning vector. So the first is AMPR. I have already told you AMPR means ampicillin resistance gene. It provides resistance against the ampicillin antibiotic. TETR gene, tetracycline resistant gene, it provides resistance against tetracycline. The third one is KANR, kanamycin resistant genes. So you can see these are the genes which are used as a selectable marker, and these are artificially inserted in the plasmid in the laboratory. So these genes can be used. The third, as I have already told you, ROP. This is the repressor of primer or the restriction of plasmid copy number. The next was ORI, origin of replication. It is a special sequence of nucleotides from which replication is started. These are the important endonuclease enzymes. The restriction endonuclease enzymes like HIND third, D, CLA, SAL first, PST first, PVU first have the name HIND third. Haemophilus influenzae. This is the bacteria from which these were isolated. Caryophyllum latum, SAL, Streptomyces alba, Pseudomonas stuarti, and Pseudomonas vulgare. All these are the bacteria from which we extract the endonuclease enzymes. I have already explained about it. The structure of PBR 322 is explained by three important parts: ORI, origin of replication, selectable markers like ampicillin resistant gene and tetracycline resistant gene. In place of this, another KANR also may be used, and cloning sites. The first one is origin of replication. So you can see this is the sequence where the replication starts called origin. It is an important part of cloning vector. Suppose a question is asked, the origin is removed from the cloning vector, then what will happen? Then it is useless now, because in the absence of origin it will not replicate and our object will be failed. So it is a particular sequence in a genome at which replication is initiated. The alien DNA linked with the vector also replicates. As you can see, plasmid itself can replicate, and after the addition of alien DNA to the vector, then the whole DNA and vector will replicate. It controls the copy number of linked DNA. It depends on the type of ORI and type of plasmids. Second, second important part of cloning vector PBR 322 is selectable marker. It is required to identify recombinant from the non-recombinant. By the presence of these selectable marker genes, we can identify which one is recombinant and which one is non-recombinant. Suppose I have inserted ampicillin resistant gene, and in a petri plate you have grown the bacteria So if you want to identify the recombinant gene, then just add ampicillin antibiotic in the Petri plate. What will you see? The bacteria that has the ampicillin resistant gene will survive and another will die. An important definition is asked, what is transformation? So, transformation is a procedure through which a piece of foreign DNA is introduced in a host bacterium. So, an important question is the definition of transformation. Just insertion of the foreign DNA to the host cell. Normally, the gene coding resistance to antibiotics such as ampicillin, tetracycline, chloramphenicol, or kanamycin, etc., are considered as useful selectable markers for E. coli. So, if you are going to prepare the cloning vector from E. coli, then you can use these antibiotic resistant genes as a selectable markers. As I have already told you, the normal E. coli cells do not carry resistance against any antibiotics. Whenever you will use the ampicillin, tetracycline, kanamycin, or the chloramphenicol, then this bacteria will die. But after the insertion of these selectable markers, it becomes resistant. You can see AMPR, ampicillin resistance gene. It provides resistance against ampicillin. TETR, tetracycline resistance gene. KANR, kanamycin resistance genes. The third is cloning sites. As I have discussed in the figure on the board, selectable markers can be used as a site of cloning. In order to link the alien DNA, the vector need to have very few, preferably single recognition site, and this site must be palindromic site or palindromic sequence for the commonly used restriction endonuclease. Commonly used vector is PBR 322 for E. coli. The ligation of foreign DNA is carried out at a restriction site present in one of the two antibiotic resistant genes. For examples, we can use the ampicillin resistant gene, kanamycin resistant gene, tetracycline resistant gene, and chloramphenicol resistant gene. One thing to remember, we will use only two selectable markers, out of which one selectable marker will be used as a cloning site, while the another will be helpful for the identification of the host cell. If a foreign DNA ligated or inserted at BAM-H first site of TET, tetracycline resistance gene, I have already told you in the figure, tetracycline resistant gene has two types of endonucleases to cut it. The first is BAM-H first, Bacillus amylofaciens H first. The recombinant plasmid will lose tetracycline resistance. As you will cut the TETR gene and insert the foreign DNA or alien DNA, then its action will be lost. It is known as insertional inactivation. So it is the important question. And another question, presence of TETR gene makes the bacteria tetracycline resistant, but as you will insert the alien DNA, it becomes inactive. So this is known as insertional inactivation. The recombinant can be identified from the non-recombinant in following steps. First, all are grown in the ampicillin medium. One replica of above plate grown in the ampicillin medium control. and other replica grown in the medium containing both tetracycline and ampicillin. As you will grow in the ampicillin, then it is resistant against the ampicillin, so it will survive and non-recombinant will die. The colonies grow in the plate first but failed to grow in the plate second are identified as recombinants. It is clear which selectable marker is still active, it will show the resistance and it will survive. Now the next point is alternative selectable marker. Other than PBR302, different types of cloning vectors are discovered and invented by the scientists, out of which another one is PUC18. In E. coli, a plasmid called PUC18 is used as a selectable marker which is better than PBR322. The foreign DNA is introduced within the coding sequence of an enzyme beta galactosidase. There is a gene that encodes the beta galactosidase enzyme, and in this sequence we will insert the foreign DNA which convert X-gal chromatogenic substance into galactose. So you can see chromogenic substance means the substrate that gives a specific color. So into galactose and 5-bromo 4-chloro-indigo blue color. The non-recombinant produce enzyme and give blue colored colonies. So as we will grow the bacteria, then what will you see? In the Petri plate there will be two types of colonies. One is blue in color and another one is colorless. So blue colored colonies shows the non-recombinant bacteria because its beta galactosidase enzyme is still active. While in the recombinant one, beta galactosidase enzyme become inactive because you have inserted foreign DNA in that sequence. The recombinant unable to produce beta galactosidase and does not produce blue colored colonies after addition of chromogenic substance X-gal. This inactivation of insertion of foreign DNA is called insertional inactivation. So this is all about the cloning vectors. Especially we have covered today PBR322 and PUC. Another important cloning vector used by the scientists and widely used in the laboratories, that is PUC18. PUC, P stands for plasmid, made in, U stands for University of California. This is the very well known cloning vector, and we have finished cloning vectors today. So in summary we can say cloning vector is a specific sequence of DNA that carries alien DNA from one place to the host cell and it will replicate there. So try to learn this, and PBR 322 figure is very important. Draw again and again and also complete this topic in your homework.